Carol Van Ornum of the Civil War Roundtable Congress, and today we have Waite Rawls of the Richmond Civil War Roundtable. Waite, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, Carol.
The Civil War Congress created an initiative to interview leaders of their roundtables so that they may share their successes and their challenges with the rest of the roundtable community. We also hope that they will offer some ideas and perspectives to help others grow. So Waite, let's start with you. Tell us about your background, your education, your career, and why you got started being interested in the Civil War.
Well, Carol, my name is Waite Rawls. I grew up in a small town, Franklin, Virginia, which is important for Civil War roundtables because it was like the third or fourth in the country. I went to VMI, as did Monroe Cockrell, who started the first Civil War roundtable in Chicago. He was a class of 1911 at VMI. I was a class of 1970. But I joined my first roundtable 69 years ago. I was 9 years old. My father was the president of it, and these were incredibly old men. They must have been in their 40s or so. And I bothered them incessantly to allow me in. They said they had a rule you had to be 18. And finally, they said, if you pass a test, we will consider your membership. The test was to go to Richmond, visit the White House of the Confederacy, and give them a report and pass their test. I did the visit. I took the test. I passed the test, and they let me in. From there, I went to VMI. I was the president of the Cadet Civil War Roundtable. I moved from there into the Army, then to New York, where I was in the New York Civil War Roundtable, then Chicago, the Chicago Civil War Roundtable, and I moved to Richmond in 2004. And I had been an investment banker in New York and Chicago for 30 years, and I wanted to come home and do good. So I came home to take the position as the director of the Museum of the Confederacy, which is now the American Civil War Museum in Richmond. And I did that until 2019, but had been a member of the Richmond Roundtable that entire time.
You are president of the Richmond Roundtable?
Yes, I am the president of the Richmond Roundtable, which is unsure whether it was the second or third Civil War Roundtable in the country. But it dates back to 1951 and had unusual membership early. People like Douglas Southall Franklin or Clifford Dowday were members of the Richmond Civil War Roundtable. And today we've still got some terrific historians who are members of the Civil War Roundtable.
And how long have you been president?
This is my first year. We have a deal where we rotate leadership every 2 years, and you go from second vice president to first vice president to president. So this is my 5th year as an officer, and each level has responsibilities, lining up the speakers, setting up tours, those sort of.
What was your assessment of your roundtable when you became president?
My assessment, it was terrific. It was a great group of people who knew their stuff. While I was the director of the museum, I had the opportunity to speak at a lot of Civil War roundtables across the country, from Texas to Maine. And the Richmond Roundtable, it's hardcore. They know their stuff. Some speakers are scared because they know their stuff. The first question is usually, after a talk, is usually reserved to General Jack Mountcastle, who retired as the chief historian of the U.S. Army. It's enough to make a lot of people anxious, shall we say. Now, it's also a place that some of the great historians of our generation really have taken great pleasure in coming back over and over again. Gary Gallagher's or before Bud Robertson and people like that.
When you began your presidency, did you have ideas of how you wanted to improve your roundtable?
Not really. We were running along pretty well. We've got 160 members for the typical meeting. We do not do a dinner meeting. We do a dinner meeting once a year for Christmas dinner meeting. So we meet at 7:30, but the typical speaker will get 70 to 80 people. Gary Gallagher will get 110. The lineup of speakers is good. Our location is good. We're in a church parish hall. During COVID, we did close down and go to Zoom. Membership went down a lot, and it has fully rebounded. With the capability of doing Zoom, though, we came up with a great idea. To do the January and February meetings are done by Zoom now. That gives us the ability to get a speaker from far away that we would not normally be able to afford. For instance, the first Zoom speaker we had in January was Joan Wall from Los Angeles. Additionally, during those Zoom meetings, if the weather's okay, most of the people go to the church anyway and sit together and have the camaraderie of the group. And they are, or you can stay at home and do it by Zoom. So that was a great idea, both for a budgetary point of view and also to take care of iffy weather months.
What would you say would be your most shining moment or accomplishment that you've had?
Me personally,
Or your roundtable?
There's a great tradition of the Richmond Civil War Roundtable for the April meeting that Lee's farewell address to the Army of Northern Virginia is read. And the person who had read it for literally a generation passed it on to me and asked me to continue in that practice. That was a great honor.
And you do that every year?
Yep. The roundtable starting date was April the 9th, 1951.
What have been some of your challenges that your roundtable has had?
No big challenges, really. I mean, at the issue to do Zoom for 2 meetings was a little bit. Some people don't like Zoom, and that's why we said, well, let's all get together anyway. So and that worked out to the benefit of people who did like Zoom and people who didn't like Zoom.
Have you had someone in your sphere that has been an inspiration for you? And if so, in what way?
Yes, indeed. I followed in the very large footsteps of our former president, a woman named Uli Baumann, who is German. She's been the president of Pittsburgh Roundtable before moving to Richmond. She's been a member of the Gettysburg Roundtable. She is an unbelievable buff, but she does a fabulous newsletter. She does a fabulous website with real good social media and stuff. The newsletters is just it's better than any other one that I've ever seen.
How do you feel your participation, people that you want to recruit to be on the board or members that you want to have their help? Do you have that in Richmond?
Oh, we do. That is when you've got a roundtable with membership that large, you've got a lot of people to choose from. And the participation has been real good when you need somebody to do something, to be in charge of a tour or line up a special speaker or something like that. It has not been a problem in the past.
Where do you see your roundtable in the next 5 years?
Hopefully in the same location, having hopefully many of the same speakers, going over many of the same topics. The topics are getting a little different though. There's more social stuff, and we had a great topic. A guy who's a recent member of the VMI faculty who had written his PhD thesis on drug addiction that lasted after the war. That's, very topical today with drug addiction and guys coming out of the Army. Well, same thing with particularly laudanum, Civil War guys.
Do you have, excuse me, have any sister, sorry. Do you have a sister roundtable relationship with any other roundtables?
No, we do not.
Have you thought about doing that?
No, we have not.
Are you going to?
Should we?
Yes. Yes.
I don't even know what a sister relationship is.
It is where two roundtables get together. They don't have to be in the same vicinity to help each other grow, share their newsletters, share their speakers sometimes, and share their technical support a lot too. So it can be very beneficial for both of them.
Well, I am familiar with how the three in Texas that work together, Fort Worth, Dallas, and what's the other? Wharton, I think it is. And they will get one speaker to come from afar and do 3 days with the three roundtables. I've done that before, but I'm not sure our membership would be real interested.
Okay.
There's a lot of Civil War programs in Richmond beyond the roundtable, because you've got the Park Services doing programs and a number of other the Virginia Museum of History is doing programs.
Do you work with them at all, partnership, or just it's there for people to go to?
More the latter, Carol, than the former. Every once in a while, we'll work together, particularly with the American Civil War Museum on some of its programs. If you go to one of their programs, 40 or 50% of the audience will be members of the roundtable.
Okay. And are you familiar with the sustainability challenge that the Congress encourages?
No, I am not.
Okay, that is a program that offers lots of ideas for growth and improvement, and it consists of 10 modules that your roundtable can work to fill out, and it's a very helpful tool. We encourage that.
Well, I'll take a look at it. We have the benefit of riches, Carol. I know a lot of other organizations in Civil War roundtables have got smaller and older, and it's hard. And the same guy's been running it for 10 years and is tired. And we simply don't have those issues, and therefore we're not trying to figure out new and different things to do. We like what we're doing. We don't change.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Any challenges or other successes that you've had?
We do nice tours once a year or twice a year. We've got local friends groups that we do stuff with. Friend of Petersburg, friend of Oakfield. We do a bunch of stuff with the American Battlefield Trust. I was on that board for 13 years. So our biggest challenge is keep on keeping on. I wish, I can imagine somebody in a little town with a small group is really struggling. And we're not, thank goodness.
That's great. Well, Waite, I appreciate your spending time with us today.